Happy Independence Day, 4th of July, 1776, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, really the beginning, the mark of freedom for humans and preserving the rights of people, the rights of humans, self-evident, endowed rights by the Creator. This is something that is self-evident to many people, unfortunately not self-evident to governments as a whole. And I, for one, a lot of times tend to categorize all people in government as, some monster or some monolith. But truth be told, we have to be grateful for what we have been given every single day on this earth. But really what it is governments themselves as a group, as an entity, don't have the private interests at heart. And that's what the Founding Fathers knew. The Founding Fathers knew that they needed these safeguards in place that told government, hey, we know you get crazy after a while. You might be good for a little bit, but after a while, we tend to drift towards despotism. We tend to drift towards democracy. We tend to drift towards then socialism and then communism, fascism. That's how this works, right? The republic, the federal constitutional republic is what they gave us. And as Franklin said, can you keep it? If you can keep it. Can you keep it? That's the difference. And when you start the slippery slide towards mob rule, democracy, and then inevitably going towards socialism and communism, Fabianism, Marxism, fascism, and this authoritarian type of world where governments always go to, collections of people, groups of people, trying, honestly, a lot of them trying to do what's right. And when there's so many people and you keep growing the size of government, there's so many people that it becomes very easy to be so detached from reality and so far away. When you're in Washington, D.C., it's hard to know and see the effects of what's going on in San Francisco and the people in the streets and the feces in the streets, right? That's inevitable. When you start federalizing everything and putting everything at the top and you take out local government, all politics is local. And really everything is local. Real estate's local, politics is local, community is local. And you can be a part of a bigger global community, right? But when we're actually governing, we're actually doing what's best for us, we have to look what's right around us, right in our surrounding areas to see what's actually happening. And this is something, again, our Founding Fathers knew. It was really a union of a bunch of different countries that came together for the protection and the good of them if they needed it. And that's what the United States was. And unfortunately, it isn't anymore. And we have many problems because of that, right? When you're trying to just do a one-size-fits-all approach, we see this march towards despotism. And we see this populism kind of swing back and forth as well. We have people who can't even walk straight in government. We have the previous person is very populist, and the one before him very populist. The pendulum keeps swinging, gets more wild. So it makes you think, what are we going to have next? Colonel Douglas MacGregor says we're not even going to make it to the next election, and as he says, that's not doom and gloom. This is just reality. We have to live in reality and be prepared. So many people want to put their head in the sand and just not look around what's happening to them when we are in control of our lives. We have free will. We can decide what we want to do, when we want to do it, and we can react to every situation and prepare for every situation. It's up to us to do that. And our Founding Fathers gave us those rights and gave humans across the world all those rights, those self-endowed rights. I shouldn't say gave us the rights. God gave us the rights, but the Founding Fathers preserved and protected those rights for all humans. And that's why humans in droves come to America still to this day. And the crazy part is we talk about Bitcoin here a lot. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration, all of them are really regional, right? The thought can go around the world. People come here, but to really benefit from them, you have to be here inside of America. And with the Bitcoin white paper, it gives property rights, freedom, liberty to people all around the world, right? The borders are gone now. That's the beauty of the Bitcoin white paper, and really being the Constitution or Declaration of Independence 2.0. And some of my friends, Mike Hobart, Ulrich, they wrote the Declaration of Monetary Independence. And I have not signed it yet, but I have it up. I'm going to sign it and be a part of that next evolution, the peaceful march toward true freedom for all people all across the world, all 8 billion people, preserving it forever with energy, with proof of work, not proof of stake, not grift and graft like we have in the fiat system we have now in this bloated government where we have Department of Homeland Security has 240,000 agents since 20 years ago when it was created after 9/11. 20 years. 20,000 people has grown a year. Now, there are things that are bad and good that happened before that, and there's things that are bad and good that happened after that. So you're telling me we needed 240,000 agents just all of a sudden out of nowhere? That's called bloat. It's called government bloat. It's called getting people into the system The government is an electrical socket plugged into itself. It provides nothing for society, provides no value, provides no good or service for the people. And the government's not incentivized to do anything productive or efficient because it can just tax or print the currency and then make you pay through inflation. So there's no reason, no incentive for government, a la the post office. The post office has no incentive to truly be efficient and work appropriately because they just get bailed out again, as do many entities, and a lot of corporate entities and private entities do now too. So there's no incentive to do anything properly. And again, the founding fathers knew these things. Read Frederick Bastiat, The Law, reading all the great works, the Adam Smith, the John Locke's, Wealth of Nations, all these different works. They had studied these over and over, studied Hammurabi's Code, studied all these different religions, studied all these different governments, and brought together the best of the best. Thomas Jefferson could write, I think it was 11 or 13 languages he could read and write, and he could write 2 languages at the same time with both hands. And do I know that for sure? No. I've heard that numerous different times throughout the last 20 years. I believe it though, because they worked on their penmanship, they worked on their knowledge, they worked on their skill, they worked on their reading. Things we don't do, we've totally lost, because we're sucked into fantasy sports in the Coliseum and bread and circus. So I implore you, please take a step back. Please take a breather, pray, meditate, step back, listen. Do a little talking, a little bit of listening, and spend some time with family and enjoy what we've been given. Because the road ahead is going to be challenging. I have great hope, and I know because of what we have in front of us and the tools we have now in front of us, we are going to win. The truth will win. But it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be bumpy, just like it was in 1776, just like it was before that and after that, the Revolutionary War. And then again, years later, War of 1812, and on and on and on, in the Civil War, World War I, World War II, and just on and on. There's going to be challenging times. Every generation goes through their times. This is that time. We're going to go through challenging times. We're going to go through lack, scarcity. It's going to create hard men, though. And hard men will give us good times. This is the fourth turning. And appreciate that. Appreciate that. That is good, because that makes you harder. It makes you better. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We've had this unbelievable time. I think we're still going to have unbelievable times, but we're going to have some challenges here in the next 10 years. Some real challenges. And people that need to be helped. And enlightenment that needs to go on, and work that needs to be put in. I appreciate you more than anything, being here and building this community with us of free thinkers and open-mindedness. I hope you enjoy the 4th of July, Independence Day. I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Please share this out, because the algorithms hate truth. They hate anyone talking freedom and liberty, sovereignty, self-sovereignty, self-respect, independence, reliance. They can't stand it. This is not financial advice, it's freedom advice. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. Trust, but verify. Have an awesome Independence Day, and we'll see you on the next one.